Water is one of the most powerful medicines that Creator ever put on earth.
Some of the stuff I say is going to make you feel uncomfortable. Own it.
On Turtle Island, we've always had gender and sexual diversity in Indigenous communities. This is not a new concept.
I had to come out and say, I am gay. I am fundamentally different than you. And along with coming out is the fear. What if I get rejected?
Some children have nothing but the classroom.
There's still racism and there's still prejudice in these schools, and it's not supposed to be in this kind of facility. That stuff don't belong here.
There are a lot of assumptions that are made about Jewish life and who Jews are, and about the way that anti-Semitism works.
One of the things that I like to briefly acknowledge is these tweets that are happening. Like, I'm hearing about the tweets, and I can feel the anxiety that they're gonna have. This isn't just like invisible, it's visible. It's in tweets. People are on streets holding signs.
This is a battle, this is a war. I ran to her principal last night. She showed me pictures of stuff that had been written in her bathroom walls, and she was distraught, she cried.
People have thrown milkshakes at me. People have paintballed me on the street. People have hit me. People have pulled my hair. People have called me. People have outed me at work.
And the effect of that on Two-Spirit and trans people is that we have the highest rate of suicide.
Who taught you to think less than about that human identity, and why does that human identity get more privilege?
We come in all colors, and because our pigma is different, that should not make a difference to you who are supposed to be giving me my education.
We were depicted as bad people in this land. They did not understand us.
It can also be much more subtle. It can be telling Jewish jokes or making comments that are not actually mean-spirited, but are hurtful to people.
Every one of them has a different lived experience, and they come to you for 192 days with the expectation that you're going to treat their bodies, their minds, and their learning style with dignity, with love. But they all come from different experiences. And then you bring your own baggage to the classroom, and that baggage cannot have bias.
I hurt because of what I think they're going to have to endure and won't endure, and so they exit the school system.
Students who identify from the LGBTQ+ community experience physical violence, verbal assault, sexual violence, and emotional violence.
You are very, very powerful. You have the power to destroy a child with a look, or even the power to fill their life with energy, to make them feel dignified.
Anti-Semitism is just one form of violence against a certain group of people. And so when we learn to deal with anti-Semitism, we're also learning to deal with LGBTQ sensitivity. We're learning to deal with other racial sensitivities and defining those things and really helping people to come into a culture of openness and compassion for other people.
Because if you're not Indigenous on both sides of your families came from somewhere else. And they might have been 10, 20 generations ago, what did Harper say? Old generation, couched racism, right? Old world people. But immigrants need to be welcomed into your classroom mid-year, and they might not speak English, but they're not illiterate. They know their own language.
Gay people would be gathered together and burned to a stake, and that description of that was a faggot.
The gender binary is encoded inside all of us, and what does it look like and where does it come from? Here. We're living from 160 years ago into an ideal of what a man and a woman is supposed to be like.
Think to yourself, why is what he is saying making me feel uncomfortable? Is it me? Is it my body? Is it what you've been taught? None of us was born racist, sexist, classist, heterosexist. These are all learned ways of thinking. And if they can be taught, they can be unlearned.
100 years of my family was forced to go to glucose residential school. I'm only the first generation not to attend.
We have to learn the truth about who we are because they hid it from us so long. I'm gonna look at residential schools, how they hid that. Teachers just found out about that past 6, 7 years ago. And they're finding about the truth in Canada, and it's a hard truth.
Too important in this day and age for my race to have to fight a teacher because I am different. We are not all basketball players. We are not all sports people. Some of us would like to go on and be a teacher, maybe like them, or also a doctor.
It's important to know about gender fluidity, which is getting me to my last point, in the spirit of water. Water is very important to Indigenous people. Water is life, we say in our language.
Water is the veins of Mother Earth. In our body, we've got the same volume of water in our body as Mother Earth. We've got the same matter as Mother Earth.
This is your body, and that's your spirit. What happens when there's homophobia, when there's misogyny, when there's anti-woman behavior, when there's anti-black behavior, when there's anti-brown behavior? It's like a direct pipeline of sludge into your tank. You have to have a filtration system that is advanced and complex.
are thinking what you are thinking.
So inclusiveness isn't a destination, it's a constantly moving target. That's really important to acknowledge.
If you're not fully prepared to teach for the rest of your career, when I think about the 30 years you're going to spend as a classroom teacher, the power that you have, if you're not going to teach with an anti-oppression lens, if you're not going to interrupt classism, racism, ableism, sexism, heterosexism, then you shouldn't be a teacher.
They have a responsibility for that student that comes and sits in their classroom and is to get the information that they have for them. Not to feel excluded, not to have to fit in, but to feel the same as any of their students that come through their room.
And Pizza Day is classist as hell. If 27 kids get pizza and 3 don't, they know that they're not eating pizza with everybody. That weighs on them. And these are things we regularly do.
What would it be like if tomorrow you suddenly started dressing as the opposite gender? Would you feel safe and supported here in Chatham-Kent?
Have we made progress? If a grade 2 young boy who comes in makeup and a skirt, right, and earrings and bling, do you embrace that? Do you prepare the other children not to tease him? These are things we have to do.
When we try to control something that naturally wants to express itself, it's gonna break. And it's not just gonna break, it's gonna be catastrophic. We can just let it flow. We can let that natural expression happen, which is like waves on the shore of the ocean, on the beach. It's beautiful, magnificent.
The source of the information has to come from the real people, has to come from us. Right now it comes out of history books, and the history books weren't written by us. The old history books, we didn't write those. So they depicted us as who they thought we were, and they missed it. They missed it by a long shot.
We are so excited to come and talk about this, and we are not here to make people feel that they have to change or be a certain way, but to really help educators and the community to deal with any kinds of incidents of anti-Semitism or other problems with diversity and violence and culture.
When you get speakers coming in to talk to you, take it to heart and be serious about it, because they're trying to teach you what they went through in their life. And it's important for these teachers to teach that, because there's not many people who know the knowledge to actually tell these young people. And if we get a teacher to teach these young people, and it's a start.
Education is where you got to go to be on an even field.
Racism, misunderstanding, prejudice. We need our people and the teachers to help knock that wall down to make a better future so these kids can put them on the right path.
How are we encouraging them to be as bright as possible, which involves supporting them, which involves loving them?
And so what we really, really want as educators and as a Jewish person, what I want is for people to see that I'm just a human being. I'm a person and I have feelings and I have a life, and that we can all exist together in a society if we see one another as individuals and if we see one another as human beings, and we can create a beautiful society in that way.
Every shade of your beautiful skin, every shape of your eyes, every style of hair, every one type, show around. Show around. Okay, we're building this for everybody.
the traditions I've been raised in, the socialization that I've experienced, parts of myself that I feel connected to, and parts of myself that I feel tension with. So it's been a day of having two things in my mind at the same time that are in conflict with each other, and letting that sit there and letting that reflecting on that and helping that moment bring wisdom and understanding, and that there's so much more to learn, so much more, and that if we come at this work from a place of kindness and a place of responsibility, that there's many steps to go, but we can take the first step, the right step.
Today was incredibly powerful, and I think what was most effective was how much time we spent addressing our own beliefs and taking some time to examine our own identities and our own prejudices, because those are going to serve the practices and how we implement this in our school and what it's going to look like.
And I feel reinvigorated to work harder. I feel like being together, it feeds you collectively to know that we're in it together, and it's a sense of community.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. You're welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life. Know you could. Yeah, times are changing.